3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, folks? Ty from Breaker Culture, proud members of the Bench Clear Media Network. I hope you're doing well. Today we're doing one of the things that I love to do, and that is break down basketball silver data. I've been doing this for years on breakerculture.com with all the pricing ladders. And today I want to do something a little bit different. I want to give you the top 15 Prizm silver prices from 2012 to 2019-20. So all of the releases for Prizm, I want to give you the current market prices, and I'm going to break down pop reports, base prices, silver prices, and a little bit extra color commentary. Just keep in mind, right, this is not investment advice. This is just me giving you the data, helping you understand kind of where things are at. I might give some suggestions and maybe a little bit of insight into what I've been buying, but it is in no way meant to be some sort of recommendation for you to go spend money outside of just consuming the data and making better decisions, okay? Get this. If you would have invested 15 in a card of each, so buy one each of these 15 cards, buy their PSA 10 silvers in January of this year, so 6 months ago, you would have spent about $30,400. That same 15 card investment today, mid-July, would be worth approximately $68,654. That's how much the basketball card market has exploded. 2.5x is the average that we've seen from January to now, mid-July. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So another crazy stat is if you take the pop reports, right? So all of the cards in existence on PSA 10s for these 15 cards, you multiply the silver pop reports times the silver prices and the base pop with the base prices as of today, you have a market cap of a little less than $50 million. So $50 million in perceived value from these 15 players and their PSA 10 silver and base. You got BGS, you have Raw, you have all the other stuff floating out there, just PSA 10s. $50 million. Crazy, 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 crazy. That was about 22 million. Just back in January, so crazy stuff, right? So let's enjoy this. I'll give you some insight. Now, real quick, if you want to see the charts, you want to see additional information, the full report, go to breakerculture.com and click the report link in the show notes. Okay, I also put eBay links for every single player so that you don't have to go searching around for the right, search strings. It'll take you right to eBay and you can find those cards. Those are both in the show notes and my landing page, my report page, okay? For all of the in-depth, super data-oriented stuff, we do all that in our Patreon page, and there's a link there as well. All right, let's dive in, starting with number 15. All right, number 15. Mr. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, drafted by the Clippers, traded to the Thunder, tutelage under Chris Paul, comes in at number 15. He has risen tremendously the last few weeks. 2018-19, Prizm card number 184. He's got 317 silvers in existence, PSA 10 silvers. I'm using PSA 10 for all this, by the way, pop reports and silver and base prices. Although I recommend BGS. PSAs is a lot easier to manage. Base population, 571. Okay, so there's not a ton out there in comparison to the other guys that you're going to see. So I'm not surprised to see some of this kind of coiling in price and shooting up, especially because he's an incredible player. Current silver price is a little over 1,000. You can get him for about 1,000 now, but he shot up basically 3x in the last 4 months. Base prices for about 250. Okay, so number 15, Mr. Gilgeous-Alexander. Big fan. Number 14, 2012-13, so first year of Prizm's release. Kemba Walker comes in at card 225 in that release. Only 14 silvers in existence, PSA 10s in existence. Incredibly hard to find his silver. So if you're looking for one of those, good luck. You're probably not going to find one. They pop up every 4 or 5 months. There may be a few more that hit the pop report over the coming years, but I wouldn't expect many more, especially in that year. 2012-13 was really hard to find silvers, especially silvers that graded PSA 10s. There's 203 base, so kind of keep that in mind if you're looking to dive in there. Maybe look at his base cards. Silver price $12.75. His base cards are going for $356. All right. Number 13 are 2018-19, Trae Young, the electric point guard for the Atlanta Hawks, card number 78. There's 1,679 silvers in existence, so quite a few. Not as much as some of the other guys you're going to see upcoming here with like a Luka Doncic, but 1,600 is very high on the list. Base population reports, 5,500. A little bit less than I expected. You'll see Doncic is over 10,000, right? So I would not be surprised if there's a lot more Trae Youngs sent in. The other thing is that Trae Young, for some reason, didn't grade that well. So his PSA 10, you might not see as many proportionally as someone else like a Luka Doncic. All right, silver price $1,350. He was at $600 beginning of the year, so he's seen that 2.5, 3x rise. Current base is at $315. Food for thought, real quick. The multiplier that we've seen on average is 5.3x between base and silver. So if you believe the silver is an accurate representation of kind of where prices should be, divide it by 5.3, and that's a pretty fair price for a base card. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. Helps you kind of understand maybe which base cards are a little bit cheaper or more expensive than the others. All right, number 12. Nikola Jokic from the Denver Nuggets, 2015-16. So with that third-year release, maybe fourth year. Card number 335. Silver population is 104 out there. Base population 415. Silver price at $1,390. That was $800 a little bit ago. Base price at $150. That's extremely cheap. I wouldn't be surprised if that's $300, $350 coming up shortly. All right, number 11, Pascal Siakam, 2016-17, a guy I've been hyping because I love his game. I love the fact that he is the man, and it's shown that he is really kind of a Giannis type player, and is carrying that franchise. 2016-17 card 220, only 115 silvers and PSA 10 out there. Base pop only 156. So I mean, you look at the two together, right? What is that? 271 together. There's not a lot of PSA 10s, so kind of keep that in mind. Silver's at 1,600, base at 740. Base is a little expensive, or maybe the silver's underpriced. You got to figure out which one. Either way, Pascal Siakam is a guy that I love, and I think I was surprised not to see him in the top 10. Let's just say that. All right, number 10, Bradley Beal. This is one of those. Look, first year release, great player. Card 238. Only 12 silvers out there. Again, this is so hard to find. So hard to find a silver for him. It's really hard to find his base too, and only 266. When you got 288 cards total PSA 10, it's really hard to find him. Silver's at 1,650. His base at 450. I think they're both undervalued if you look at like relative to everybody else and kind of who he is. But I mean, look. You decide. You decide on what you want to do there. Base at 450, that's where I gravitate towards. All right, number 9, Ben Simmons, a guy that was in top 5 just a year ago. His 2016-17 card number 1 is all the way down at number 9. 130 silvers out there, so not a lot. Base population, quite a few, 1,234. His silver's at 1,950, and his base is at 450. I personally am not a fan of his game because he's not a scorer. That makes it really tough, but look, there's only 130 silvers out there for a guy that a lot of people like and a lot of people went all in on. So I don't think that's going to drop much further. His also had a hard time grading PSA 10, so you're going to have a little bit of that kind of factored into this, all right? Our first 1920 card is going to come from Ja Morant, card number 249, 2019-20. Silver already got a 473 out there, which is crazy to think about. Base population is already at 5154. Silver just crossed 2,000, so about $2,100, and then base is at 450. I would absolutely gravitate towards base right now for him, but you're going to see a lot more base graded, and you're going to see a lot more silver graded. So you're very early on in the whole population filling itself out. So just kind of keep that in mind. But I mean, look, he's electric, absolutely electric player for Memphis. Him and Jaren Jackson are going to be fun to watch for years. All right, number 7, Jayson Tatum, a guy that has exploded basically the last 3 months. Probably the guy that's benefited the most. Benefit's probably not the right word. He's seen the most parabolic price rises during the COVID-19 pandemic. He was underpriced, period. He was just underpriced relative to everybody else. especially being in Boston, being the guy. Silver pop 572, so quite a few. 3,092 base. His silver is a little less than 2,500, and his base is floating around 700, so about 650 right now. All right, number 6, Damian Lillard, the man out in Portland, 2012-13, again, first year release. He has a little bit more on the silver side, so the other guys had 12, 14. He has 28 silvers, graded PSA 10. Man, I remember opening this product when it came out, and I had those Damian Lillards, maybe not silvers, but I had some great ones, and it's frustrating to think about what I had there. Base pop, 495. Silvers are going for 2,500. If you believe in Damian Lillard, you believe in him potentially winning a championship, I think that is underpriced. But we'll see. Especially with 28, you're going to have a hard time finding them pop up. Current base, 400. For a guy like that, just real quick, a guy like that, for any of those older generation players, you might consider buying raw and hoping to get a good grade. Sometimes you will find the raw kind of proportionally underselling everything else. And if you have a good eye for looking at centering, and obviously you can't see surface really well, and even edges are kind of hard to see. But if centering looks pretty good, I would maybe be more apt to take a chance on that for some of the older Prizms for 12, basically 12 to 15. 2012 to 15. All right, number 5, Devin Booker, a guy who has the last month has just gone crazy. Gary V's hyped him. A few other social media voices have hyped him. Card 308. He has 133 silvers out there. He has 1,065 base out there. Silvers at $2,500 for a pure scoring guard. Guy who can put up points like crazy. Current base is at $500. I think it's expensive, but look, he's a guy that can put up mad points. It's gotten very expensive for his silvers at $2,500. I would much rather gravitate towards Damian Lillard than a Devin Booker, but that's just me. Zion our last 2019-20 card, and of course Zion is in the top 5, right? Card number 248, the iconic Zion Williamson Prizm Silver. Silver population already got 630. Base population, you got 7,428. Silver price dipped back to 3,100 about 2 months ago. In the last 60 days, it kind of crept back up to around 3,500. His base is around 650. It's actually getting closer to 725. I wouldn't be surprised if that goes all the way up to somewhere close to $800 to $1,000, somewhere in that range, because everyone wants to get in on Zion right now. And at $3,500 a pop, silvers are really hard for people to spend money on. So I wouldn't be surprised if the base has a little bit of a lower multiplier than some of the other players. All right. Number 3, Luka Doncic, 2018-19 card 280, 1,768 silvers and 11,669 base Prizms. My goodness gracious. Over 13,000 PSA 10s of Luka Doncic. But yet his silver's at 3,550 and his base is at 805. That's why I think Zion should be well over $800, right? Because I think he's equivalent to Luka Doncic right now in terms of hype and in terms of just performance that we've seen so far in the small, short time frame. Now, just keep in mind in terms of the market cap, Luka Doncic is the guy. I mean, obviously with 11,000 base, his market cap is 15,600,000. In terms of that compared to everybody else, right? You're looking at Zion's the next highest at 7 million. So twice as much market cap than the other players in this list. So Luka Doncic is he's got a lot of cards out there. So it's going to be harder to move those prices as time goes on, I think. All right, number 2, Kawhi Leonard. 2012-13 card 236, silver pop at 36. His base population 876. When I run reports on Kawhi Leonard for any of my Prizm data, I have to use his base Prizms because the silvers do not pop up enough, man. And even with 36, you're rarely seeing them. The last one sold about 5 weeks ago. Sold for a little less than $21,000. Sold for $20,600. Wow, $20,600. His base is going for $1,850. I would 100% gravitate towards his base. He is the cheapest of the base cards right now in terms of the multiplier ratio. Those are going to go up. Those are going to be at 4K, 5K for his base. You're not going to see many more base in the population report in the coming years. There's not a lot out there in that 2012-13 So I'm actually surprised there's almost 1,000 in the pop report. So Kawhi Leonard, number 2. Number 1, you figured it. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 2013-14 card 290, 73 silver PSA 10s, and 2,155 base. His silver just sold a few weeks ago for $21,000, so a few dollars more than the Kawhi. And his base is selling for $3,150. Again, I'm going towards his base, guys. I mean, I'm just going towards the base. I think the base is a $4,000 or $5,000 card for a guy like Giannis. So there's your opportunity if you think Giannis is that guy. The opportunities with the base. So there you go. There's your top 15. Again, if you want the full report, go to the link in the show notes. We dig into some of the charts. We also give you a little bit more contextual information, like some stats and all that good stuff. And of course, if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below, and please subscribe because we're trying to put out more content like this here on the Bench Clear Media Network. All right. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great week.